Hey guys, welcome to the save session, the sessions you always want to save. And last time we talked about a little bit of our hot takes, and there's some we stumbled upon. One of them was talking about something had a very terrible story, and I thought that'd be an interesting topic. What are some games that you think have a terrible story but great gameplay? Like, stories buns, it's throw it in the garbage, don't belong nowhere, but the gameplay is what keeps it alive. Skip the story if you want it, no one cares about it. You want the actual awesomeness of the game.
Yeah, valid. Honorable mention, obviously, every fighting game ever, because most of the stories in those are
most are garbage. The best one I think I've seen is from Mortal Kombat 9 and Injustice 2 are the absolute greatest stories I've ever seen in a fighting game. But unfortunately, none of them reached that bar. Because we've talked about, I think, on the channel, we've talked about Mortal Kombat 1 and how it was really dumb. They just brought in multiverse, they added rules.
It started out really strong.
It started out strong, but then...
you could put Mortal Kombat 1 as a game. Like, the story was stupid, but it had pretty solid gameplay.
Yeah, but we just said that's most fighting games, though.
Yeah, because it was like...
Like, most of them, the stories really just suck in some way, but the gameplay always carries it.
You were playing it earlier, but if I had to say any fighting game, it'd be Mortal Kombat, Fighter Z... And
Fighter Z is so nonsensical. It's like there's a machine that suppresses their brainwaves, and then Android 21 wants to eat them to consume their power, but she makes clones of them. It's like, are we still just trying to beat people up? Are we still just big buff people trying to beat each other up? What's happening here?
I try to make sense of nonsense.
I mean, as Dragon Ball do.
But as you know, you wanted to start us off. What is a game that you think that has pretty solid gameplay but bun story?
We talked about it a little bit in the previous one, but I'm gonna say Resident Evil, specifically Resident Evil 7 and 8, have absolutely garbage stories because it's all about Ethan, how he got to the Baker family, and all about 7 was more about this girl named Evelyn who got infected with this mold in an experiment, and she basically wanted Ethan as her dad. So when she ended up in the house of the Bakers, she sent a message to Ethan for him to come, all because Mia, who was caretaking for Evelyn on this ship, just wanted Ethan to be a dad. That's all the game is. And
that's so sweet.
And then everything about that game makes it seem like there's a grander purpose or grander scheme. Nah, it's just a bunch of, just stupid things happening for stupid reasons. But then Resident Evil 8, they just cranked it up on the dumb dial. Because the first thing that happens is, you're with Mia, you're with your wife in your home, and then Chris Redfield comes in and just blah, 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 blah. Just shoots her up out of nowhere, and she takes an absurd amount of bullets, and then she just falls over dead. Ethan kidnaps you and your baby, only for you to wake up, crash near a village, and then that's where the whole game takes place.
Wait, you're not Ethan?
You are Ethan.
Then how did he kidnap you?
Chris Redfield.
You said Ethan.
Did I say Ethan? Yes. I meant Chris Redfield kidnaps Ethan is what I meant. Okay. Chris comes in and, I think Mary said he, but I didn't refer who the he was.
I just assumed it was Chris, because there's no way Ethan just gonna walk
Chris
in and shoot
kidnapped Ethan out of nowhere, and basically was transporting him, but Ethan crashed in the middle of, being transported where he was going, only to find out his baby is cut into 4 pieces, and he's gotta save them from a big vampire booby lady, a doll, a fish man, and a dude who can control magnets. Which, like I said, I touched on briefly.
Over there at that point?
What?
If your baby's cut in 4, what are you rescuing the pieces?
Basically, Mother Miranda lost her child, Ava, a long time ago because she was experimenting with the mold, and I guess she was like a nice caretaker. What was I trying to say?
The thing from Bloodborne that made the tear people? Oh, the failed gimme gods?
No.
Oh.
But, basically, she was the caretaker of the town. I guess she was pretty good to all the citizens and everything. But when she lost her daughter, she just kind of went AWOL. And she was experimenting with the mold and everything. And now she heard of Evelyn, because Evelyn was, I guess, a good candidate for her, but her mold was unstable, which caused her to age rapidly. That's why in the end, when you see Evelyn, she's a little girl, but when you actually inject her with the serum in 7, you find out it's the old grandma lady that you've been passing by the entire time is actually a little girl that just aged rapidly because of the mold inside her. But now, the whole point is to take Ethan's baby Rose and then perform a ritual on her to infect her with the mold, bring her back to life, and because anything that dies around this thing called the megamycete, their mind gets implanted into the megamycete, and she's trying to use the megamycete to bring her daughter back to life through Rose. And a big booby lady heads up in your hand and drinks the blood out of it. While her horny little daughter is just saying like, oh, I can't hold back anymore. Like they come up, they're made of bugs.
Okay. I know.
No, they get you through the leg and they're like, man flesh. It's just like, this game's kind of for weirdos. And I'm kind of one of those weirdos.
Sign me up. I'll take it anyways.
Just like, oh my God, disgusting. Where do you even find something like that?
Where do I sign?
Just
Not
like,
in line.
You know, I just want to make sure it's like, appropriate for, the public,
Yeah.
Like, I'll take that bullet. I'll take
Someone
the
has to
bullet.
do the sacrifice, and I'm going to take that down.
But then most stories of it are dumb. Kind of like, like I said, the least dumb one was Resident Evil 4, but even then it has some dumb moments. Because again, I talked about it again last time, the chainsaw lady's coming through, all he had to do was back up. No, he had to do a kickflip. He had to do the kickflip. And then you think Leon is bad with his one-liners. Ethan is even worse.
Oh, I know. I saw like 2 seconds and I was like, I hate this series now. I mean, I don't actually hate the series. It's just like, I'm not playing Biohazard because of that.
No, that was 8.
Oh, I know, but I refuse because it's the same Ethan.
But at least they lean into the fact that Leon is more corny. Ethan is just not clever. Like, Leon is corny but clever. Ethan is just not clever.
He's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Like,
then finally you beat Mother Miranda, and then there's a DLC where you play as Rose, but I don't even truly understand the point. I think the point was she was trying to get rid of her powers because she was born with... Basically, she has powers now after she was infected with the mold, but something went wrong and she wasn't Ava, she was still Rose, but now she has the mold inside of her and she has these powers now. She wanted to get rid of them because she felt like a freak. And then she goes into a sample of the megamycete only to find out it was all a ploy by Mother Miranda who had died.
I'm so sorry, but every time you say megamycete, all I hear is...
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me!
Mr. Meeseeks, look at me! Oh, just like Resident Evil, the whole thing's like, oh my God, the megamycete. It's like, I'm not the megamycete. Turns around, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. And I mean, it explains how they can be so many villains. It's just someone pressing a button.
That just like brain fog to be so hard.
Well, yeah, the Resident Evil games, mainly 8 and 9. I mean, 5 wasn't no better. That was one where Chris was punching the boulder. And then 6, I never played 6, but I've seen one. Especially the hallway scenes.
Terrible.
The hallway scenes with the lasers. And just seeing the impossible dodges they do. And Leon, just like he does a backflip, he sees the lasers. He somehow forces his body to become heavy and just forces himself onto the ground. Like belly flops to get under the laser. And I'm like, this is weird. This is dumb.
Very much so.
But then again, that's one of the things you're here for the game. It's like, this is goofy, over the top, dumb, but that's kind of what we're here for.
That's critically acclaimed to be bad, though. 6 is like the worst game out of the 3D franchise.
Yeah,
so.
but you can find kind of elements of the corniness or the dumbness in other games, though. Like, it's always kind of been there. The only thing that was wrong with the previous games, like 3 and before, were just, the terrible tank controls. So it just had that tension of, everything felt like an ordeal because your character, moved like a tank, moved like a brick.
Plank.
But yeah, that's my one. Resident Evil, and not the greatest story. Great gameplay all around, but story, not so great. What's one you got? Bring one to the table.
I talked about it before. X-Men Origin Wolverine.
Yeah, we talked about that.
The story is all over the place, but it gives
it barely follows the movie, even though it's a movie tie-in game.
I mean, it gives us a glimpse of like the guerrilla warfare that they had to do when he was like deployed under Stryker and all that hoopla.
like, here's the thing. I actually liked it when, like, it has two sections. One where he's in the past still, you know.
And one when he's in the present.
Yeah. And I like the one where he's in the past a lot more. I don't know why, but that feels more like an actual video game. The one in the future, the enemies are just, I don't know, they were just more annoying if I remember right.
Yeah, I think the ones in the present were funny, just simply because, like, you have the advanced technology of being able to camouflage, and if you try to grab them, because my favorite thing is when you grab him, he goes like, or they're just like does some unnecessary kill. But I do admit the past ones are kind of clean too, because when you do the execution against the blue teleporter chicks, all he does is grab them and then just stab.
Just so simple.
Yeah,
like everything else, he's so over the top in this one. It's just like, I don't feel like dealing with you.
Yeah, basically, because it's the equivalent of God of War's Siren execution. He's just over there going and breaks their back, and they just make a shockwave. Meanwhile, like the blue ones, they're just over here, just like in the head.
Mm-hmm. The Kratos one, I feel like it is more intense because it actually looks like it's fighting back. Heck, Wolverine just so anticlimactically.
I mean, they're fighting back because you got them in a chokehold, and like you're trying to like get closer but hold them down at the same time, and they're kind of like pull away. So you're just over here, just like
my favorite part about the game, I remember, was the fact that you could throw and impale enemies on certain objects.
Dude, like, that was awesome.
That was, like, when I was little, that was mostly the thing I did to instant kill everyone, was just grab them, throw them, because it had a thing where, after a while, the enemy would despawn from the thing, because once you throw them on there, you can't use that impale anymore, but the enemy would despawn, which means you could do it again after they despawned.
Oh,
and
I didn't even.
And
know
I was
that.
just infinitely doing it, and I was spending like 30 minutes on a 5-minute level just waiting for them, you know, to despawn, so I could just keep doing it.
I didn't know they despawn.
Yeah, they can despawn.
I remember in the demo, bro, when they first introduced the impaling mechanic, I was over there just like, okay. They jumped at me, and I was just like, sit down. I just did that the entire time. And then the machete fire ones, when they would lunge at you, lunge at them and just hook them on the standing impalement ones. So they would just be like,
I also like you can strip him down to basically his underwear. Because basically if he gets hurt too much, like his skin will start to disappear, but also, I almost hit the mic. His skin will start disappearing and so will his clothes. And he can just basically run around in his underwear the whole game if you get hit enough.
I remember I distinctly tried to get his entire body blown off just to see if I could just walk around like just skeleton and like.
Nah, your regeneration will heal up. It
regenerates the clothes too for some reason.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
Wait, because I was when I unlocked the original suit, I just wore the OG suit. Because I was just like, that's so hard before they, you know, the newest Deadpool Wolverine suit, because that one's clean.
Oh, yeah, the yellow one?
Yeah, that one's really clean. And I was sitting there just like, every time I'll just get blown up, I'm like, huh, he's healing. Where's the suit coming from?
It's kind of like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball, where it's like he gets blown, it's only a little blob, and somehow he grows back, but all of his clothes are back too.
I think his clothes, those aren't clothes, that's just his skin.
But no, even in Bobbity got part of him blown off, and then when Buu heals him, he regenerates, and his clothes come back.
Buu has the ultimate healing factor.
And then Piccolo, he got turned to stone, and then Trunks and Goten were being dumb, thought it was just a statue, pushed him over, broke him, and then when Trunks went up, he's like, ugh. He's like, oh, something bad happened. Then Piccolo's just like, nah, I'm fine. Clothes and everything are fine. Like, not even wearing shorts or like cut off sleeves or anything. Everything about him is just fine. I'm like, where'd your clothes come from? The only thing I can kind of think about that is Piccolo has shown he can use magic to make clothes and weapons. Because that's what he did when Gohan was, you know, out in the wild.
Yeah. That's wild. Because again, I remember I was like smacking like the explosive barrels and stuff. Just, you know, I want to see how much skin could get blown off. Because Deadpool's also in the same category as X-Men Origin Wolverine. That game is so much dumber, but it's supposed to be because it's Deadpool.
My thing is, I think it leaned a little too much into the jokes, and the gameplay wasn't as satisfying, in my opinion. The best
part of the game is when you get to slap Wolverine until Deadpool forces you to stop. Because like at some point you can just keep smacking it, and he's just.
What? Whoa! You! Wake up! Wake up! That's because the player keeps mashing the button. That's because I like slapping fleshy things with this hand.
All right, dog. I don't want to do this no more. Like, we're just seeing how long the player wanted to do this, and apparently they just.
I think you get an achievement for doing that too.
You do. I did it. I was like, Yeah. That was like my favorite thing in that game. And I distinctly remember one part where he just goes in, he looks at a guy he's about to kill, and he's like this. And then just it was so stupid. Oh my god. Oh man.
I remember he gets his head blown off, and I think it was Rose.
Now that's what I call a kiss, sugar.
Holy shit! We're in her head now!
That game gave me like so many what just happened moments.
Yeah, like I
It's
said,
so
that's what.
left field.
But that's also one of my favorites. It's like my favorite part was when Cable was trying to explain something to him. He's like, "It's so boring," and to gather the conversation, he's like, "Tunk."
Didn't he fast forward it at some point too?
No, he didn't fast forward. He just blows his head. He just blows his head off just so he could stop hearing the pointless exposition he doesn't want to hear. Like he doesn't care about the story. He doesn't care about anything. He's just like, I'm bored. Tunk.
You know,
My favorite, he comes up with like one of them toy rockets and is just riding it for some reason. I'm like, where'd that come from? What are you doing? What is happening?
welcome to Deadpool Chaos, boys. I think it's kind of funny too, because speaking of chaotic games that were like low key kind of fun, but I just think the community doesn't want to admit it, is like the Sonic 06 era of games.
Sonic 06. Because
like,
I
not
wouldn't say
to-
Sonic 06 because I played Sonic 06.
No, just the era of Sonic 06. So you got
I would say more the
06,
early
Black
two-
Knight.
I would say earlier than that, like Battle Adventure 2, like Battle Adventure.
Battle Adventure 1 was, but 2 was awesome. I didn't know what was happening, but 2 was awesome. And then the music, live and learn. Well, let me tell you. Then the scene where you're like escaping from a giant truck that comes out of nowhere, and you're on like a chunk of metal just skateboarding, and you can hit tricks and stuff. Cleanest thing ever. Me and my cousin went to, we did local versus every time on that map just to see, he wanted to hear the song, do the tricks. Because at that point,
Well, that was
after we
Escape
did
from the
that-
City, not Live and Learn.
I know Live and Learn was the final boss. Escape from the City was that was a fun one, dog. And then they made that into a local game map, so like you could relive it every single time if you were doing solos or playing against a computer.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like, and then yeah, dude, because Sonic Unleashed. Well, on the terms of Sonic 06 era of games, so like the Wii one, Secret Rings, the Sacred Knights, Unleashed.
I wouldn't even say those had good gameplay.
No, they were entertaining though.
They were entertaining, but not good.
What arguable? Like it depends. 06's story was stupid, but
And the gameplay was terrible because it was buggy and not finished.
Yeah, Secret Rings story was also confusing, but it was interesting for the Wii because that was one of the games.
Yeah, but it was an
Wii.
on-rail one, which was just dumb. I mean, that made it... It was one of the prettiest games on the Wii, but it controlled like garbage as, you know,
I
a
think the Black
compensation.
Knight one was actually pretty solid. I don't remember what it was. Just Sonic got turned into a sword hunting game.
I played the entire game of that. Yeah, that's not that good. No, and the combat of that was also really bad because it was semi like on a track. Like still, Sonic went forward on his own, somewhat semi, but then he could also swing his sword. But then you had these sword duels that just did not work. And then you finally beat King Arthur. Turns out that's only half of the game. And there's an even further half afterwards.
Yeah.
Where you basically, spoiler alert, you fight the lady that, you know, summoned you there is actually the bad guy. And she turns into a giant evil witch. And basically you turn into Supersonic with golden armor. But it's just like, you are not Supersonic, but your armor turns golden. And you get Excalibur, your sword.
Super Excalibur.
And the song for that goes so freaking hard. But the gameplay of it was terrible.
Yeah, because I thought it was very interesting and innovative. Because when I first tried it, I was like, "Oh, I don't know what's happening."
I wouldn't call it innovative in the slightest.
For a Sonic game, yeah.
Not even for a Sonic game.
Because like, dog, 06 was bad. Rings wasn't great. The Knights was.
It's
I
all
thought the
about
Knights
games
was-
that have good story but bad. Well, no, bad story but good gameplay.
They all have bad stories, in my opinion. I think Unleashed has decent gameplay, but to be fair, I was like, can
Well,
tell
it's
that
decent
was
gameplay
Sonic.
to the werehog.
Yeah, the werehog was kind of weird.
And he's all stretchy for some reason. I'm like,
Fantastic.
they don't explain that either. They don't explain why he's both, but he's super strong and super stretchy.
The strength one makes sense. The stretchy one not.
That's what I mean. Like, how are you both? It's weird. But
Maybe because he takes up the mass. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The mass argument.
Maybe. I mean, you could argue that, but then again, it didn't really look like he had he was controlling his mass when he had the strength. It looked like he was just lifting things up casually.
So it was like I thought it did the thing where he pulled a Luffy where he just made his muscles get bigger so he could pick it up.
Nah, it wasn't really what was happening because again, and Luffy was intentionally doing that. I don't think Sonic was intentionally doing that. I think it was just.
Well, no, that's what is like. That's what's kind of just what it looked like it was happening. I don't think that's what was happening. But from the eye test, I was just like, did he just?
He didn't even do that in the game. Like his muscles didn't grow. It was just him casually. That's why the eyeball test.
That's why it was like it just looked bigger. I didn't say he activated it to do it. It was more like when he licked. It was like, why does his forearms look so big?
They just look big because he's a werehog.
I mean, yeah, in hindsight, not being 2020, that makes sense that way. But what's another title you got for us?
Another title. It's actually two of them, but they fall into the same category, and that is Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, that have, in my opinion, some absolute buns stories, but the thing that carries them is the gameplay. Because the whole thing of, it's really weird what they're deciding to do. Like, Breath of the Wild, when it came out, it was revolutionary. I love Breath of the Wild, and I love Tears of the Kingdom. Great games. The thing is, the stories of them were bad because they barely didn't have a story.
They were open
Barely
world,
didn't
right?
have. What kind of sense is that? But
They were the first open world games, right?
no, the
Or
first.
like the most like popular ones because
Well,
we
the
got
first.
Genshin
They weren't the
Impact from
first
it.
open world game, but they were one of the first. They were the first Legend of Zelda game to be open world, but also they were one of the first, probably the first open world game to be as freeing as it was.
Yeah,
Like the
'cause then
game
everybody
didn't
else
tell you
followed suit.
to go anywhere and do anything except for the plateau, which, an hour of doing that, and then boom, you can go wherever you want. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, like at any point, whenever you want to do it. But then, Tears of the Kingdom has something similar. You're in the sky, you're there for like an hour or two.
Isn't that the one where he has like a arm missing?
Yeah, that's because when he fought in the first one, it's really weird. The first one, it said Ganon gave up his physical form, Ganondorf. He left it behind to become a form of true malice, which was the weakest version of Ganon, in my opinion. Not weakest as in like strength-wise, but weakest as in the impact of like the character. It's like, he's just, a giant boar demon with like no personality. He's just the big bad evil you need to defeat. But then you find out it's because in Tears of the Kingdom there was something called the Imprisoning War that you hear about time after time after time after time after time. Because every time you beat a main dungeon, the person that you beat the dungeon with is like, that's the Imprisoning War. Beat a dungeon, that's the Imprisoning War. Beat a dungeon. That's the Imprisoning War. It's like, oh my god, shut up. I don't care. I don't care about the Imprisoning War anymore. You know what all it is? The first king of Hyrule and 4 other champions. Kiwi is mad about something. The king of Hyrule and the first 4 champions, they basically fought Ganondorf, and he was too strong, and all of them sacrificed their lives so the king can imprison him with these things called secret stones. And that's how they draw out like a unique power that they have. Not really original name, title, and the secret stone, they're like, yeah, whatever. And also there's a plot twist to where if you eat the stone, you become an immortal dragon, but you slowly forget who you are.
The voice crack was crazy. Oh man, let's.
Come on, get that testosterone back.
Did Zelda eat one of those?
Yes, and that's how she went to the past at the very beginning of the game, because what happens is you're exploring underwards, and there's this thing called gloom that's like,
Pokemon?
No.
Oh.
That's spilling up. It's like this black goop that's spilling up from underground. They don't know what's happening, and it's causing all the weapons they have to rust and and decay, like all the middle ones. And anyways, and basically all that's happening, and then you decide to look underneath where the source is, and you find a mural that depicts the imprisoning war. You go even further down, and then you see Ganon is down there. Not Ganon, but Ganondorf. But he looks all dehydrated. But then there's a hand on him, and that's the hand that Link eventually gets. Why? That's the king's hand. That's what it was used to imprison him. And he was imprisoned under the castle. Why would you build a castle on top of him? God only knows.
So he has to fight his way back up to the top of the tower.
Well,
It's a tower defense game.
well, no, he basically breaks free, and then it's actually a really cool scene where but then he's like,
Raru placed his faith in you. And that was all you could do.
he pushes Zelda off, but then Link goes to try and grab her. Well, he then raises the castle with his gloom powers. And then Zelda goes back in time because she found the secret stone on the dude's arm. And it causes her to go back in time because she has time powers when she has a stone. But the Master Sword got sent back in time as well. And then she decided to eat the secret stone, which caused her to become a beacon of light.
Protect them all!
Are you following along with what I'm talking about? Or is this stupid yet?
A little bit of both.
Lore-wise, she's been there the entire time. There's only been two Zeldas, one in human form, one in dragon form. Except there's nothing that can reverse a dragon form. Except when you beat the game, there is a way, because Raru and her wife, Mitra's ghost, take away your broken arm, give you a brand new one, and then revert Zelda back from being a dragon. I'm like, sure, why not? Yes, that happened. Because that was the most disappointing thing about that game. It's like, okay, it kind of feels like our characters and our choices had no weight then. Aside from the champions died, Raru died, and his wife died. Aside from that, there was like no consequences to our choices, which made the ending just feel absolutely hollow. It's just like, yeah, we beat Ganondorf again. Again. You know, was this like, the 50th time? Yeah, we beat him again. Yep, can't wait for the next one. If I sound a little petty about that, that's because the ending did absolutely kind of make me mad. Because Ganondorf, the final thing with Ganondorf, you beat him in a one-on-one, he just goes, I'm not done yet. Because he has a secret stone of his own, and he eats it himself, and he becomes a dragon. Which sounds cool at first, but it's one of those things, you just get on his back. He doesn't really fight you back, you just go to his eyeballs and just whack, whack, whack. Oh, he's dead.
Are you sure this is interesting gameplay? This sounds terrible.
That's what I mean. The final fight of it was terrible, but the gameplay of it, because the gameplay of Legend of Zelda revolves around the exploration and the interactability with the world. And you can do whatever. Because they actually introduced a mechanic where you can carry almost anything, you can fuse things, and you can get in the JoJo pose. Don't break the chair.
It's already there. So okay.
But you can build things. You also have like a battery pack. If you put batteries on things that are supposed to move, then they will move, but they'll have a limited battery. But you can make a whole...
Creativity is overflowing.
Creativity is overflowing. I always say it's a little bit like Minecraft, where it's like, the whole thing is there's not really that much of a story. The thing that pushes you through the game is you figuring out, what can I do? Like, what are the things I can do? What can I unlock? And what are these interesting things that lead me to other interesting discoveries? Because there are a lot of other things that are interesting about it. My favorite part is you can save this town from an overrun of monsters, and then you can painstakingly help them rebuild the town. Like you literally do, because, like I said, you have an ability where you can pick things up and drag them places and infuse them. You do that to help rebuild the town. And when you finally get a house, you can have the max amount of pieces, and you can build your home yourself with that power. Which is really cool. But yeah, the story-wise, like I said, absolute buns. But the gameplay, that's always what it's been about. First, fully open world. The interactability is crazy. The creativity is crazy. Just the stories are bland. Mainly because there's something called Hyrule Warriors, which is basically Dynasty Warriors, but with Legend of Zelda characters. And there was something called Age of Calamity, which happened before Link. Basically, in Breath of the Wild, Link got knocked down. He took a 100-year nap because he was injured so bad. But then Age of Calamity says what happened that led up to Link getting so wounded he had to nap. But at the same time, I didn't beat Age of Calamity, my buddy did. And he says, yeah, Age of Calamity does not fit cleanly into what Breath of the Wild did. Because what happens is there were champions, there are two sets of champions, basically. One from Raru's time and one from before the 100-year war. And basically, before the 100-year war, there were champions that were also ancestors of the bird people, the rock people, the fish people, and oh god, I'm forgetting the Gerudos. The Gerudos are the least interesting. That's why I kind of forget them sometimes. But there are 4 of them. There are 4 champions for them in Breath of the Wild, 4 champions of them for Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
And then basically the heroes from Breath of the Wild go back in time for the champions before the 100-year war, and so it doesn't fit cleanly in the timeline anymore. And that's basically how they're telling the story. It's through Age of Calamity.
This is confusing.
I know. That's why I said terrible story.
I'm so lost.
Great gameplay.
I don't know what's happening.
If you shut your brain off to the story, you'll have an amazing time. You focus on the
story.
story.
Up for 5 minutes, and I was like, I still don't know what's happening.
You don't gotta shut off to understand. You gotta shut off to just I just want to play the game. I don't care about the story.
Oh, God.
That's why I'm like, imprisoning war. I don't care anymore.
My game is so much simpler than yours.
I know, right? That probably could have been a showstopper, but
Because my next game title is Prototype.
Prototype.
I'm pretty sure
I don't know what the story is of that game.
Exactly.
Aside from you're a dude who has these crazy powers that can absorb and eat people, disguise yourself as them and have these crazy tendrils that can form different weapons.
So the story is about sorry. Delivery man. You're given a bomb. You don't know it's a bomb.
Are you sure it's not Death Stranding you're thinking of?
No, I'm thinking of Prototype. Ironically, its sibling game, Infamous 2, starts the same way, except Infamous has a story.
Yeah.
So Prototype starts as you're Alex Mercer. You're giving a package, and you're supposed to deliver the package to this laboratory. Unbeknownst to Alex, obviously, the package is a bomb. It's a bioweapon. And when you get there, drop it off, it's activated the minute you go, here you go, boom. And same thing with Infamous. You get a.
You slapped the shit out of your leg.
I really didn't. Hit my bone, if anything. So
It made a loud snap.
In the bomb you hand in Prototype gives you electrical power. No, Infamous gives you electrical powers, but it nukes the entirety of New York and gives a bunch of other people random miscellaneous powers. But Prototype, you're the only one who gets it because I think it was locked to your DNA signature. Unbeknownst to you until you finish the game, though, you died. And the virus just recreated you. And, because it consumed you.
That's basically Resident Evil 8. Ethan technically died at the beginning of 7, but he was infected with the mold, so technically he's alive. Spoilers.
Basically. And it's the whole time you're over here trying to figure out, because when the game starts, Alex has no clue who he is. He's like trying to gain his memory.
Oh, that I do remember. Is like he doesn't know who he is, but then he finds out he can do all these things.
Yeah.
And every time he absorbs someone, he can absorb their memories.
Yeah, and that's the only reason like why he looks like Alex, because that's canonically not Alex. That's the virus, just in the shape of Alex. So the virus is trying to piece together what actually happened to Alex the entire time.
I thought technically he was still Alex, but the virus eventually took him over, and basically he had a Sephiroth moment where he just turned insane.
Yeah, I thought it would have been probably better and made more sense, but no, that's just pure virus. The virus ate him the minute the thing went off.
So he was basically a virus in human form, and he had human feelings and emotions, and in the second game, he's the bad guy, because he learned that, and then he just gave up his humanity to, continue being,
Yeah, because his sole purpose as the virus is to wipe out humanity. So, like, when he realized that, oh, the real Alex is dead, I'm just a virus. So why don't I act like a virus? And then you boom some random black dude who's a sergeant, and he's just like, hey, I'm gonna kill your family, blank, you have my powers now, good luck, woo! Not thinking he would come back and be like, you killed my family. I got nothing left to lose. Fuck it, we die.
That's the biggest thing, is like, once I have nothing left to lose, I got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, and he goes on a tear. Like, he basically pulls what you just said. In the process of Prototype 2, and you figuring out, oh, I have powers, and he's letting loose all these viruses, he's over here, he created his own version of champions to where you defeat all 4 of the champions to fight him, just to consume him and turn into him.
The only thing I remember about Prototype 2 is it ended with, you beat Alex, and then for some reason, everyone in New York dies.
Yeah, because you technically consume the virus. It's like you become Alex, because you can, after you eat him, you legitimately can transform into him. Boom the place.
You boomed everyone except for like 2 people that you cared about, like this girl and this lady and this girl. I remember.
And I think that was supposed to be like his stand-in, like that just reminded him of his wife and daughter that died from the Alex Mercer attack at the beginning of the game. And it was just kind of funny too. Because when you really think about it, Prototype 1 is not supposed to be a story. It's stupid on purpose, because it was like, hey, what happens if we give you control of a ticking time bomb that wants to know how he was created? Here you go. Throw it in New York. That's why you get over there in a body armor suit with a thick
So what was their
blade.
goal then with the virus?
The virus was initially supposed to be a cure. But due to tampering and miscellaneous things and Alex being a dick, he was just like, I'm going to blow it up. And then it just became negative because...
Well, I also think the scientists, weren't good people either.
They weren't, because like it was supposed to be a cure, but realistically it was like... It was supposed to be
I thought it was
like
kind of like...
cure.
It was another thing like umbrella corporations, where it's like, sure, maybe some things they were doing were meant to be cures for humanity, but then they stumbled upon viruses like, instead of curing people, we can just give them more power.
Yeah, well, their intention wasn't to give them power, but it was just so happened because everything else that was happening in that vicinity when the thing went off, it just concocted.
Yeah, well, the thing with Resident Evil 2 is like they weren't trying to like give them power per se, but they were trying to basically create this virus to sell to like different militias all over the world so they can make a huge profit.
Yeah, because like I want to be wholesome and say, oh, they were trying to cure cancer or like uncurable things that's very impossible to actually cure, and they were like, we found a way. We just got to turn you into a monster, just to be like, sorry, our cure is deciding to run around the entire city, spawn a bunch of gooey goop things, and murk everyone. Because the funniest thing in that game is you can walk around and be like, that was so cool. Or just my favorite thing to do in Prototype is, especially like not even after you fought a boss, just a random person, pick them up, run through the city like you're Hulk, do a jump, stab them, make them a biobomb, huck them in a crowd of people, and see how many people die.
Nah,
Pure cinema.
one of my favorites is just pick up a car and then just run through a crowd and see how many just go flying like a fountain.
Exactly. No, see, if you ever get the chance to play the game again, I recommend put on the stick armor, get the knuckles, and just go like, boom, and just start leapfrogging through people. It is
Yeah, my favorite was the claws. The claws and the blade were my favorite, and also the whip was really fun because I just love you could grab people from super far away, like they're running away, and you're just like, whoop, no, you don't.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting too that every weapon in the game has a running interaction with people. So like with the knuckles, you're just going. With the blades, you're just with the fingers, you're just like lawnmowing, and then the blade, you're
It's
just
one of
going
those
like
things-
this.
It's Xbox 360 days and PS3 era, where a lot of times the graphics weren't good, but they had to rely on, attention to detail.
Wonderful gameplay. Because even in the case of Infamous, like you had electrical powers, but if you got in water, you're cooked. Expect. Oh, that tasted weird.
I hate it here so much.
But yeah.
Why do I come over?
I think my favorite memory of Infamous, actually, and this is like a little side tangent because it's still on the topic of prototype. Infamous 1 story was you lit off a bomb and you're trying to work with an organization, a miscellaneous organization. Spoilers, the leader of that organization is you from the future.
Kessler seized control of the First Sons and accelerated the Ray Sphere's development. Decades spent plotting the blast, organizing the quarantine, finding me.
Who ran away from a boss because he couldn't protect his family. And so he decided to come back to the past to make you able to fight that boss. So he basically caused you to nuke you. You made yourself nuke New York so you can gain power to kill something that kills your family in the future.
And you thought Tears of the Kingdom was bad.
Oh no, I know, trust me, but what I said was simple. What you said was chess. I was saying checkers.
Well, I was also going into more detail explaining what was happening.
Oh no. That's it. Like future you says, younger me, here's a package. And they try to rebuild it. And you know the funniest thing, which is the favorite thing and it made me so mad about that game? You can do it a second time.
Depending on what ending you get.
No. You can do it no matter if you're doing a good path or a neutral path or a bad path. My stupid ass, if you do it, you become infamous. You get black and red lightning. I thought, if I blow the bomb up, do I get black and blue lightning? Fun fact, you don't. I was sitting there like, you know how tough that would be? I did the whole gameplay.
You did the whole thing just because you wanted
On
different
good.
color lightning?
I did the whole thing on good, and I was like, I wonder if I can get blue and black lightning. And the minute I chose activate the
You
bomb
nuked
again.
a city just because you wanted prettier lightning?
Yes. And I was like, okay, it's my time. Boom. And then I went from heroic to infamous so fast. And I was like,
That's the equivalent of Omni-Man. You see he's this really amazing guy, and then like a few weeks later, after his son gets powers, he just absolutely nukes an entire city with his son. Just because he's like, yeah, people are meaningless. Yeah, I saved a bunch of people, but fuck them people.
dude, that was a trip. That low key, I was so upset. I was shooketh to my core when I did that. Because I was like, so you're telling me I have to play this game a fourth time? Mm-hmm. Because you know how hard it is to be neutral and infamous? Mm-hmm. It's dang near impossible. And I managed it. But my good playthrough, straight to infamous because I wanted to get black and red lightning. Or no, blue and black lightning. It looks really cool though. It looks really cool. But I went from my coat dripped out, white looking angelic, black veins coming out the back of my neck and my eyes darker than a Sith. I was like, yes, he looks that creepy. The butterfly effect choices in Infamous are beautiful too.
I think you're the one looking creepy right now. I don't like this. I don't like it no more.
It's okay. It's okay. Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, one final one. A big showstopper that might not actually be that much of a showstopper. Most, if not all, the From Software games.
Those have wonderful stories.
No, they have amazing lore. Terrible story.
Isn't lore part of story?
No.
Oh.
Lore and story, because story is basically the story you're being told right then and there. Like God of War, like the whole story of it is you're trying to get your wife's ashes up to, the highest peak. But then the lore of the game is everything that Mimir is saying to you that Odin has done, or everything about the world. Because the thing with Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, a lot of everything that's happened in the world has already happened. And it's already things that are a part of the world. Because if you say that story, in a story, you'd be able to understand that things are going on. Would you be able to tell me that in Bloodborne, if you just played the game normally, you would understand that back in the day, there was a Queen of Yharnam, who made a deal with these giant aliens called Great Ones that are beyond our comprehension to make a baby with them to be the first Great One king of Yharnam, only for it to go awry because the Great Ones share their blood, which has amazing healing properties, which the humans, the citizens were really mad when they caught wind of this, because why do they get, this blood that basically makes them immortal, and we get crap? That's unfair. They storm the castle, kill the queen, kill her baby. The Great Ones are mad because that Great One that was inside her was their next king, so they're mad, causing the Scourge of Beasts for anyone who gets the blood vials, all for it to be covered up underneath the city, only for them to discover it years later with the healing church, only for them to pass the blood around, find out about the Scourge of Beasts, hide the fact that the healing church is what caused another Scourge of Beasts, only for them to then form the hunters who were for the people, only for the people to find out that the hunters were kind of the main cause of the blood. What about that wasn't stupid?
That doesn't sound stupid at all.
No, it's not. Well, it's not. But it's not stupid, but none of that you would understand. You played Bloodborne. You beat Bloodborne. Did you understand any of that the first time you played it?
No.
Did you know any of that happened?
No.
Did you understand anything that was connected with anyone?
No.
Because there's no story.
Slappy?
There's no...
Slappy in Bloodborne?
Slappy?
Yeah, the one guy that pushes you off things.
Slappy.
That's not his name?
No.
Trippy?
No. You said Slappy. Now it's making me forget who he is. Oh, it's Patches.
Patches. Okay.
Slappy. Slappy. Where do you get Slappy? But no. Oh, in Bloodborne, Patches was a giant spider with a head that you killed because you were scared of it.
Oh, thank God.
Like, hey, he's the one that was behind the locked door, but then I showed you how to get to him, and he's like, hey, and he wasn't fighting you. He wasn't, going to attack you, but then you're like,
Oh, spiders! Spiders! Get them off me! Get them off me! Get them off me!
that was uncharitably done. You're that scared of spiders.
Deserved it. Mm-hmm. Deserved it.
But yeah, all of that, especially Elden Ring, Jesus Christ, the story of Elden Ring.
Oh my God, the lore is insane.
Yeah, the lore is insane. There is no story to the game, though.
I think that's the point. It's
yeah, but that's the point.
You're alone. You just got, hey, you.
Well, yeah, it's not criticism. It's more just, yeah, that's the point. But that doesn't, and from the fact that, yeah, that means if they have little to none, that means it's kind of a terrible story. But just because it has a terrible story doesn't mean it's not a great game.
I felt tarnished.
Mm-hmm. And someone must extinguish their flame. That's wrong, boss.
Huh?
I
know. I just like doing the nail.
Mm-hmm. I command the
His
nail.
weapon sucks.
What?
His weapon sucks, dude.
Yeah. Quite a few of the boss weapons actually aren't that good.
I'm trying to find the hammer thing that you can just like do a cartwheel with and lunge it at people.
Look it up.
No, that's not fun. I like to try and discover it myself.
Then you're never gonna find it.
You don't know.
I do know.
They don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, I don't. Wait. But it said no, I don't.
Yeah, you're right. No, you don't. No, you don't gonna find it.
I don't. I do's and I don'ts. These ladies. But I'm sorry.
But
I think Sekiro, out of all of them, Sekiro probably has the best story.
it's the only one that has somewhat of a semblance of a story, but even then you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, because you're just like, hey, bro, I'm here to protect Kid, and then Kid sends me out to do task to make sure to sever his link to immortality.
Yeah, sever his link and humanity's link to immortality, basically. And then for some reason, what's his name? Not Gentro, Ishin. Like, for some reason, in both endings, he has a problem with you.
Well, I thought the one Jinichiro, when he climbs out of his grandson. Oh no, that's Ishin. Sorry.
Well, Ishin climbs out in both endings. Ishin is technically the final boss.
Yeah, because there's old and then there's young. But young is when he crawls out of his grandson, and old is when when you choose to sell out the kid to Owl. I think. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, because he was like, he doesn't have a problem with you. He's just like, hey, we just on the opposed sides. We gotta do.
Which I don't understand. Why would he let you do all that if you were on opposing sides?
I don't know.
Because that's just probably explained in the lore, but it's not told in the story. Aside from Gentro,
it's because you had to help him at some point in the game.
Well, yeah, you had to help him in order to continue. So you think you guys are cool, and Gentro is like the big final bad of the game, only for you to fight him basically 3 times. You fight him at the beginning, which you're supposed to lose to. You fight him again on top of the tower, only to find out he made himself immortal too.
He has his own immortal blade too.
And then you fight him at the end if you chose to, save the kid. That he basically got the power to revitalize his grandpa into his youth.
Yeah, sacrifice himself so his grandpa. That was disgusting. But yes. Yeah, I think the Dark Souls franchise probably has another semblance of somewhat of a story.
Nope.
No?
Not really.
Oh, yeah, you played it, so you would know.
Yeah, I played.
What about Demon Souls? Is that Demon Souls or Demon Born?
It's Demon's Soul.
Okay.
No, Bloodborne is the only one in the franchise that has Born in the name. But it's still, arguably the most popular. Well, most popular when it comes to, PlayStation fans like me. Because people like us really want that remake. Now that Jacksepticeye's making the movie. I know we said it last time, but I'm so excited for that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the remake. I was like, wait till PS6. It's going to be $1,000.
I just said Jacksepticeye's making the movie. Do I speak to myself?
Yeah.
Do I say things out loud? Am I in a padded cell? Are y'all even here? Are you even real?
Sometimes.
I hate it here. But yeah, that's my thing. Is From Software, I think, does have really bad stories because nothing is really explained or told to you aside from maybe the just bare bones basic. What's the actual goal of the game? Hey, Dark Souls 1. I don't even know. You're supposed to rekindle the fire, which keeps the world going. Dark Souls 3, you find out, that every time you rekindle the flame, it gets weaker. And the flame is what, fuels the world. But, so even if you rekindle it again, the world is still going to end because it's not powerful enough to keep going anymore. And everyone tried to find out, how to either stop it or accept their fate. And all the kings left, and you're supposed to go kill the kings, put their souls back on the throne, so you can get to the fire again to do whatever you need to do. Try to rekindle it or any other thing. I didn't get into the other endings just because there are 6 of them.
Welcome to the From Soft era.
But yeah, those are mine. Yeah, another one? Not another one?
I was Prototype and Infamous, really, but I kind of talked about them both, so I was like,
and
a lot of the games that really I can think of, I've already spoke of, and I'm not trying to tread on old waters like that. Except for, granted, I'm pretty sure I talked about Prototype or Infamous at some point.
You've said Infamous a few times, but it's okay if we delve deeper into them.
So I was if I had to think of another one, I would probably. I can't really think of another one, really, because it's there's still the games that I know I'm aware of are pretty solid.
Yeah, I got quite a few of them, but And I think that basically just shows, like, that's the type of games we play. Me and you prioritize gameplay. At least I prioritize a lot more gameplay rather than story. Now, when they coincide like they do with God of War, it's amazing.
Sounds like you could argue
not every game does that.
the Greek saga of God of War, but
Yeah, I kind of thought that. It's just an angry power trip.
yeah, no, I was like, I feel like that one was a little too easy. So I was like,
Yeah, a little too easy. That's actually one of the reasons I don't go back and play it a lot, because it just feels a lot angry. It feels like when I was younger and angrier back in the day, I didn't want a story. I just wanted, an excuse to, savagely kill some things. But in God of War, you can kill things. God of War 2018, you can kill things savagely, but Kratos is sad.
okay, okay.
Well, thank you guys for hearing us on games that had a terrible story but great gameplay. Make sure you like, save, subscribe, put in the comments what are games that you think had bad stories but good gameplay. And as always, see you next time. Bye, guys.